Hi everybody, how's it going? Dan, an entrepreneur here. So today I just want to talk a little bit about opportunities, where to find them, things that you can do, and in particular I want to talk about Uber and Uber Eats. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, and basically he was kind of asking me like how I always find opportunities and all that sort of stuff. And he said there was no opportunities for him. And I just said, well, hey, look, you've got a good car. I said, why don't you go and do sort of Uber or Uber Eats? And then we kind of got into the whole discussion of, you can't really make, a lot of money with Uber, and he'd read all these, news articles and stuff like that. So just to prove the theory, I actually signed up for Uber Eats. And I went and did it for a few weeks just to see exactly what sort of money I could make. And I mean, I've got it here on my phone, so I don't know if you can all see that. But I made about $640 for probably about 25 hours worth of driving. My biggest day there was $175. So you can, if you hustle with Uber or Uber Eats, you can make some okay money there, especially here in Australia at the moment. I understand in countries like the States, there's a lot of competing companies, so maybe the amount of money that Uber is offering per fare is maybe a little bit lower, I'm not sure. But $175, and the reality is I think I spent maybe 35 or $40 on fuel to make that $175. So basically with something like Uber, I've sort of narrowed it down. There's about three mindsets, and I'd probably say about 90% of people, there's is what I call the worker mindset, and that is, I was logged into the Uber app for 8 hours today, and I made $120. That's like $15 an hour. That's rubbish. It's garbage. And then there's what I call the realistic mindset, which is, I was logged into the app for 8 hours today. I made $120, but the reality is I was probably actually only driving and doing pickups and deliveries for about 4 hours. The rest of the time I was just sitting on the side of the road. So that's about $30 an hour, which is not too bad. Or then there's what I call sort of like the entrepreneurial, the businessman mindset, which is, like myself, I spent $40 on fuel and I made $175. So that's, that's over a 300% return on investment, which ultimately, if you look at it, if you took that $40 and say put it in a bank, you'd get maybe 1 or 2% interest on it. If you put it into the share market, on a good year, you might get maybe 8 to 10% return. Hey, look, at the end of the day, if you want to do Uber Eats, if you've got a push bike or a scooter or a car, if you want to make a bit of extra money, or maybe you want to make that transition of you're moving from a job that you hate into doing something where you can kind of do it on your own time, then Uber Eats is definitely a viable option, depending on where you live. Like I said, places like the United States, there's a lot of competing companies over there, but there are still some people, that are making good money in the States. Like I've got a friend here in Australia that's doing ride sharing with Uber. He's very smart about it. His wife, he's got the customer app on her phone, driver app on his phone. He just logs into the customer app on his wife's phone. There's no drivers on the road at the moment. Maybe I'll go and make some money. And he cleans up. Swears he's making sort of $200-300 a day doing ride sharing. 5-6 days a week. So he's loving it. Obviously you've got to keep in mind that the money that Uber pays you, you are a partner of Uber, so you do have to pay your own taxes. And depending on which country you're in, that will sort of vary, country to country, state to state, region to region. Definitely. So I'll leave some links in the description if you want to check out Uber Eats. And a couple of things I'd recommend as well, if you are going to do it, especially if you're in a car, is get yourself like a little magnetic phone holder, just sort of like clips onto one of your air conditioning vents in the car, just sort of so it's in front of you, so you're not constantly looking away and whatnot to sort of check your navigation and all that sort of good stuff. Just make it a bit safer. Because obviously you don't want to be going to pick up a fare and then you get distracted looking at your navigation and then you have an accident. Uber Eats, guys, Uber ride sharing, definitely worthwhile, especially in Australia at the moment because there's not a lot of competition for Uber here. Happy days. Hope everyone's having a great week and have an awesome day. Peace out.